All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. Inchcape Rock presents Animal Farm by George Orwell. Sit back, relax, and let the words carry you through a journey into a world both strange and familiar. Let's begin. Animal Farm. A full summary. Once upon a time, there was a farm called Manor Farm, nestled in the English countryside, owned by a negligent and drunken farmer named Mr. Jones. The animals on this farm, horses, pigs, sheep, hens, ducks, and more, lived in squalor, overworked and mistreated while Mr. Jones reaped the rewards of their labour. The barns were run down, the fields muddy, and the animals' lives were a cycle of toil and hunger. One fateful evening, old Major, a wise and elderly pig with a mane of white hair, called all the animals into the big barn for a meeting. His voice, deep and commanding, carried a message of hope. He spoke of a world where animals could be free from the tyranny of humans, living in harmony and equality. Man is the only creature that consumes without producing, he declared, urging them to rise up. He taught them a song, Beasts of England, its melody echoing through the barn as an anthem of rebellion. 3 days later, old Major died peacefully in his sleep, but his vision had ignited a spark in the animals' hearts. The pigs, deemed the cleverest of the animals, took up old Major's cause. 2 young boars, Snowball and Napoleon, emerged as leaders. Snowball was lively and inventive, with bright eyes and a quick tongue, while Napoleon was brooding and stern, his silence masking a ruthless ambition. Together with the other pigs, they taught themselves to read and write from old books left by Mr. Jones, preparing the animals for what was to come. The rebellion erupted unexpectedly one midsummer's night. Mr. Jones, in a drunken haze, had forgotten to feed the animals for days. Starving and furious, they broke into the storehouse, their hooves and beaks tearing into sacks of grain. When Mr. Jones and his farmhands stumbled out with whips and sticks, the animals fought back with a ferocity born of desperation. Boxer, a massive cart horse with a gentle soul, struck out with his hooves, and the humans fled in terror. By dawn, Manor Farm belonged to the animals. In their triumph, the animals explored their new domain. They burned the whips and harnesses, symbols of their oppression, and renamed the place Animal Farm. On the barn wall, the pigs painted the 7 commandments of animalism, rules to guide their utopia. Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. Whatever goes upon 4 legs or has wings is a friend. No animal shall wear clothes. No animal shall sleep in a bed. No animal shall drink alcohol. No animal shall kill any other animal. All animals are equal. The early days of Animal Farm were a golden time. The animals worked as a team, bringing in a harvest bigger than any Mr. Jones had ever managed. Snowball threw himself into educating the others, teaching them to read simple words, while Napoleon focused on organising the farm's resources. Every Sunday, they gathered in the barn for meetings, debating policies and singing Beasts of England. Though Snowball and Napoleon often clashed, their leadership kept the farm running smoothly. Snowball soon proposed a bold plan, a windmill to generate electricity, promising warmth in winter and shorter workdays. He sketched designs in the dirt with a stick, his enthusiasm infectious. Napoleon, however, scoffed at the idea, calling it a foolish distraction. The debate reached its peak during a Sunday meeting. Snowball's passionate speech swayed the animals until Napoleon let out a sharp whistle. 9 ferocious dogs, their teeth bared, burst into the barn. They chased Snowball through the fields and off the farm, leaving him an exile never to return. Napoleon seized control that day. He abolished the Sunday meetings, declaring that a special committee of pigs would decide everything for the good of all. To the animals' surprise, he announced the windmill would be built after all, claiming it had been his idea stolen by Snowball. The animals, trusting and weary, accepted his word. Life on Animal Farm began to shift under Napoleon's rule. The pigs moved into the farmhouse, sleeping in beds with blankets. When murmurs of discontent arose, Squealer, a small sly pig with a silver tongue, stepped in. "And no animal shall sleep in a bed with sheets," he explained, pointing to the altered commandment on the wall. The animals, unsure but intimidated, nodded along. The windmill became a grueling task. Boxer, with his immense strength, hauled stones day after day, chanting, "He will work harder," his sweat soaking the ground. Yet when the structure was nearly complete, a storm toppled it. Napoleon blamed Snowball, accusing him of sneaking back to sabotage the farm. The animals rebuilt it, their faith in Napoleon unshaken. As months turned to years, the pigs grew more human-like. They walked on 2 legs, wore Mr. Jones's old clothes, and sipped whiskey from his cellar. The commandments kept changing. "And no animal shall drink alcohol to excess," Squealer would say, waving away the animals' confusion. Rations shrank for everyone but the pigs, who grew fat and lazy in the farmhouse. Boxer's other motto, "Napoleon is always right," echoed as a grim refrain. Napoleon's tyranny deepened. Animals who whispered dissent were dragged before the dogs and executed, their blood staining the grass. The 6th commandment morphed to "No animal shall kill any other animal without cause." Squealer spun tales of outside threats and Snowball's treachery, keeping the animals fearful and obedient. Beasts of England was banned, replaced with a hymn praising Napoleon. The farm's name reverted to Manor Farm. One evening, the pigs invited human farmers to a lavish dinner. Through the farmhouse window, the other animals watched as Napoleon toasted his guests, his trotters clutching a glass. The humans and pigs laughed, cheated at cards, and schemed together. The animals crept to the barn wall, where the 7 commandments once stood, too. Now a single line glared back. "All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others." In the final, haunting moment, the animals peered back at the farmhouse. The pigs' faces, jowls sagging, eyes greedy, blurred with the humans. Clover, the gentle mare, blinked in disbelief, but it was true. She could no longer tell pig from man, or man from pig. The revolution's dream of freedom had crumbled, leaving the animals once again under the heel of oppression, betrayed by their own kind. Thank you for listening to this complete audiobook rendition of Animal Farm by George Orwell. We hope this journey through the wit, satire, and timeless social commentary of Orwell's beloved classic has left you both entertained and inspired. Tell us what you'd like to hear next, and be sure to explore other timeless stories presented by Inchcape Rock.